Well, here we are in mid-March, and I'm going to tell you it has been one heck of a ride. Now, in 2020, in November of 2020, on my video, I said the first time in over a decade I had seen inflation coming into the pipeline. What a call that was. I'm amazed at how much it's gone. Even I didn't expect it to go this bad. But inflation continues to be in our pipeline, and it continues to cause us problems. Now, I've also been calling for much higher prices. Now, pundits across the country keep calling for a housing crash. Now, here in Phoenix, Arizona, I don't see any evidence of any kind of housing crash or anything. We have such a shortage. I don't see how that's going to be possible. The great markets of Florida, Texas, and Arizona, I think, are going to be completely unscathed. There's so much demand to going into these wonderful markets where people are moving to have wonderful business opportunities. And here in Metro Phoenix, we have a shortage. We have so many people coming here. We're well over 100,000 people a year coming here, and we're only building 30,000 residential units this year, 2022. And of that 30,000, 14,000 of those are going to be apartment units, which leaves only 16,000 single-family homes that are going to be built. With over 100,000 people coming here, you can see the dilemma. There's a huge shortage, and it's driving prices. So let me go to my very first slide. Let's talk about this and see if there isn't something we can put our heads together and come up with some kind of idea as to how this is going to work. Now, I've been touting my timing model for many years. It's worked like a champ. Doesn't mean it has to stay like this and always work, but it has worked really well. Now, this section right here is when we came out of the 2020 recession, just coming into it, and that caused the accumulation phase. We announced that we're just ending that, and this is the explosive phase where prices go even higher. Now, you're welcome to go back to my videos and check these, but we talked about the fact we were entering into the accumulation phase, and you should be buying these because prices were going to go much higher. But my model is saying home prices are going to explode from here. That's hence the explosive phase. Now, I know there's a lot of people saying that we're going to have a housing crash. I just don't see that. Even if rates came up a little bit, I don't see prices coming down. There's so much demand, and there's such a shortage. Over 5 million homes across the country, and of course, in the great markets, the shortage is very acute. And I just don't see that as a possibility. So I've been wondering, how is it possible? What is going to drive this? Because in these models, they project things. They tell us what is going to happen, but they don't tell us why it's going to happen. And here we are getting close to the end of the accumulation phase going into explosive. So maybe we can make a conjecture as to why this is going to happen. So let me go to my next slide. We'll just take a look because I think I have a reasonably good idea as to why this is going to happen. Now remember in 2020, November 2020, we talked about inflation coming in. Now we got a headline number of 7.87%, basically 7.9% inflation for February of 2022. Now, I'm told by very reliable people that if we were calculating it the same as we were when I was just starting in the real estate business in the 70s, that instead of 7.87%, we'd be looking at 15% inflation. So what is it really? What is it really? Because everywhere you look, we have inflation. Of course, this is color-coded. The big culprit here is energy, and we just talked about we peaked, I think, over $120 a barrel. We may not be done with this, but prices have come down a little bit. Are we done? I don't know. Some people are still forecasting 150, and they say if we break $150 a barrel, we could go to 225. Now, I'm going to tell you, over $100 a barrel is really perilous for our economy. Not good, and everything's made out of oil. You know that. So let me go to my next slide, and let's just talk about that one. Now, here's what becomes even the worst situation is that the inflationary expectations are reaching what we had in the 70s. So we're getting into historic inflation, and I think we have a real possibility of getting historic inflation of 15, 20, 25% a year in inflation. Can you even imagine that? Can you even imagine that? Now, businesses are starting to get to the point where they need to start pricing in inflationary expectations. So if you plan on selling a hamburger for $3.50, you got to start charging $4 because you have to assume that if I put it on the menu, it's going to start going up in price. That's a very, very bad inflationary spiral. We're looking like we're heading into that. Not a good thing, particularly if you're my age on a fixed income. Come on, guys. We've been talking about this. You should know better. Now, if you're not my age, you can do something about it. Let me go to my next slide. We're here to help you, literally. I mean, this is my life's mission to help you guys. Here's the culprit. Oil over $100 a barrel. It peaked at, I think, $126 a barrel. You can see it here. Look at this spike. And of course, we may not be done. You know, if there's more turmoil in the world, oil could go even higher. And of course, oil is used absolutely everywhere. Trucking, shipping, family, vehicles. Can you imagine $4, $5, $6 a gallon for gas? That's you and your spouse. What if you got a couple of kids? You could easily have, I mean, my kids growing up, we had 4 or 5 cars in a driveway. Kids were driving everywhere. But at $4, $5, $6 a gallon, can you be going through 300 gallons a week, 400 gallons a week? Maybe you're spending $1,000 to $1,200 a week on gasoline just for people driving around. Possible. If we see oil go like that, that really goes into your budget. Who can afford this stuff? And of course, there's a spillover and a knock-on effect. If you get airlines and cruises, you know, transportation, shipping. You know, stuff is being shipped from overseas. I mean, these ships aren't run by wind. They're not sailboats. You know, and it's still cold across the country. We're so lucky here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Beautiful. I mean, 90 degrees today. We have heating still going on. And of course, then we need the gas to power the electricity, turn air conditioning on. And of course, it's used for fertilizer. People forget that the farmers not only use it to run their tractors, but it's fertilizer to give you a bigger crop. And when you don't have as much fertilizer, you get a smaller yield on your crops. Means less crop, higher prices. It's going to go into a spiral here. And of course, you know, we use oil and coal in plastics and flooring and just about everything you can think of is in these products. And when these products go higher, when we start getting a scarcity, when we have a government that wants to, you know, go green without having a new energy field, well, all this, you need energy. So how are you going to get it? So you're going to pay extra to get it. It becomes a scarcity, and we're going to have that. Now, there's nothing you can do about it. You can just protect yourself so we have an inflation. No matter how inflation comes, whether it's monetary or it's a scarcity, which we have kind of a little bit of both right now, we still need to protect ourselves. Let me go to my very next slide. We're here to help you if you want to run some ideas across us. Now, here's one of my major concerns. We talked about the fact that we have fertilizer really changes the crop yield. And of course, we've had bonus crops and yields, and we've had wonderful wheat and corn crops. But that may be ending. Now, we're talking about things around the world where they're limiting the amount of soybeans and corn that they're exporting. Wheat's certainly going to be a problem. And when people can't eat, they get very upset. And we have the same level of food insecurity in 2010 that caused revolutions across the Mideast. And we have talked about, if you go to my videos, we talked about how Americans, 40% of Americans are food insecure. This is just going to add to that. It's going to be awful. So you need to protect yourself and your family. Up to you. No one's going to do this for you. You need to do this. You need to take care of it yourself. So we're telling you, this is coming. What are you going to do about it? Now, I have a couple of possibilities. So let me see if this is what my next slide here is, and let's talk about that. Here's been my main concern. I've talked about this too. If you go follow my work, it's Michael DeVille on YouTube. Just punch in my name, Michael DeVille, and you'll get our videos. We've been talking about the fact, particularly when you get to be older, that you have purchasing power. Once you retire, we're not replenishing the well. Whatever you have when you retire has to last you a lifetime. And we've had a very, very nominal inflation for the last 20 years, less than 2%, but it has eroded the purchasing power even with 2%. And I calculated 52.5%, but this is Wall Street, they calculated 40%. Either way, whether it's 40 or 50%, it's still pretty doggone awful. So when you retire, your purchasing power drops like a rock. And you soon find out that you can't afford things that you used to be able to afford. That's called inflation and the loss of purchasing power. We've been talking about how you can protect that and how you are going to need to protect that. Not only just want to, you're going to have to need to do that. Because if you don't, you're going to get steamrolled. You'll be a victim. No one wants to be a victim. It's not necessary for you to be a victim. You can do this. You still have time to do this. You're welcome to call us. I'm more than happy to. I'm a baby boomer too. You know, I've been through this. I know what we're doing. I've been doing this for 50 years. My staff is very, very good. We're really good at what we do. Let me go to my next slide here, and let's just talk about this now. What can you do about inflation and purchasing power? Well, we talked about the fact that you need to have real assets, things that are real. So there's a switch from financial assets to real assets. We're in the process of that right now. You know, real assets are iron ore and aluminum and copper, soybeans, corn, wheat, coal, oil. Those are all real things. You can go into the commodities business. I'm not a very good commodity trader. I don't know if you are or not. That might, you know, if you're a good commodity trader, maybe that's what you should be doing. If you're, I mean, gold and silver is also good. They've been good for thousands of years as a hedge against inflation and turmoil, but they don't throw off any income. So here I am. I'm in the real estate business. I've done this for myself and my family for literally decades. They've made my life absolutely outstanding. Now, a lot of my clients are older. They're on limited budgets. We've been telling them just put a couple properties into your portfolio. It's really going to make a huge difference in your lifestyle. Just enormous. 10 is what we ask you to do. We ask you to do 10. Your life will become magical. Just 2 coupled with some Social Security, I think your life is going to be much better. And of course, when you have rentals, they go and adjust to inflation. They also go up in value. So rentals become a really, really compelling investment for you if you're my age, or even if you're not, if you're starting to think of becoming invested or you want to start retiring. This is just one of the greatest investments that you possibly can. They're wonderful, wonderful inflation hedge, and they throw off income for you, and they protect your purchasing power. Just a great, great investment. We're here at Michael at michaeldeville.com. Now, Florida, Texas, and Arizona really are just great bets. Hard for you to miss on something like that. We're here in Phoenix, probably the greatest market in the world. You're welcome to do here. We've got property managers. We've got, we select the properties for you. You own them, and we just send you a check. You don't have to do anything. You are strictly the investor for it. There is really no excuse for you not to do this. You're welcome to call us. But you could do these, and you're going to get yourself a 4 or 5% cash return on it. It's just like putting your money in the bank. If you put $400,000 in the bank, you get $16,000 a year back. You know, we can do that for you every single day of the week, and you don't have to do anything. And it's going to protect your purchasing power. It can protect your family. It protects you against inflation. It's just a very, very compelling investment. And our property looks like it's going to go up in value. We don't see any. We have so many people coming here. We're only going to make 30,000 homes in 2022. 14,000 of them are going to be apartments, leaving only 16,000 single-family homes to be built here in Phoenix. And we have over 100,000 people coming here every year. Just an extreme shortage. And this is just a very, very compelling investment for you to look at. Now, this is me. My company's West USA Realty did $5.6 billion last year. You should feel very, very comfortable with that. You're welcome to reach me at 602-942-4200. It's a free, absolutely free consultation. We're in the real estate business. We want your business, but we'll also work with your spouse, and we'll work with your investment advisor. We'll work with your Uncle Eddie. We'll talk to everybody. We want you to be completely understanding of what you purchase. We're completely transparent. We're here for you. We work a relationship business. A lot of clients have been with us. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of them. Most of our clients have been with us for many, many years. So give us a call. You can reach me at michael@michaeldeville.com. You can reach me at 602-942-4200. If you have any questions whatsoever, call me. Ask your spouse to call me. Get on a conference call. Get your investment advisor. Let's talk about what's good for you. Just two. If you don't own your own home, go buy one. If your kids don't own one, go buy one. If your grandkids need a place, help them. But you need at least two in your portfolio. It's going to make a huge difference in your life. If I can help, it's michael@michaeldeville.com. Please, please, I'm begging you, please talk to me. Let's get this done. See ya. Bye-bye.